Yes! Up the irons, my friends! Up the irons! What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal metal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday evening, it's dark here in the Northeast, so we'll call it a Wednesday evening video, right here on Metal God 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below on this channel and my other channels as well. Show your love support, leave a comment on the video if you like, but if you leave stupid comments, you're going to get sent to the graveyard, otherwise known as Hell, otherwise known as the Shadow's Lair, where Ozzy and Satan will eat your rotten soul. So don't do it. Want to do it? Go on your day channel. Nobody cares. Because nobody cares about you anyway. And that's that. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Treat it like it's your bass guitar. Slap that fucking shit. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you do, you need to get hit with a bass drum over your goddamn head. Because you're SOL. You know what that means. If you don't know what it means, well, too bad. Look it up. Lazy fucks. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab your nice, tasty, cold one, which I don't have because I just finished lunch. So, I had one, but it was, you know, finished the last of my soda. So, we had that. But whatever you're drinking, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, well, fuck you, man. That's pretty much it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday evening, December the 3rd, 2025. Hope everybody had a great Wednesday. A little chilly here in the Northeast. But gonna get real cold by the weekend. By early next week, we're gonna be like 30 degrees. It's gonna feel like actual winter. Jeez. Not even winter yet for another couple weeks. We're getting early winter. But hopefully when that hedgehog comes around in February, he gives us a early spring, like he did this year. So, but we'll see if we have to shoot that fucking thing, but we'll see. Because, you know, the hedgehog's always, you know, sometimes you wish he was wrong, but sometimes he's right, so. And I say hedgehog because I don't care about a groundhog. It's a hedgehog. His name is not Sonic, but I digress. Anyway, we move on. Alright, we got AEW Dynamite coming up in a couple, little under 2 hours. Should be a great show. Week 2 of the Continental Classic. As we're rolling on till winter is coming next Wednesday from Wales in, you know, jolly old England. It's part of England, part of the United Kingdom. So, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be in Wales. And then after that, we're in my neck of the woods, New York City, for Dynamite on 34th Street on Christmas Eve night, which is taped, and then Christmas Collision on Christmas night, also taped. And I will be at the Collision episode, so. I wish I was going to the Dynamite episode, but can't because I got a concert coming up that fucking night, which pisses me off, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't even know if they're gonna be taping Ring of Honor as well, but, I mean, we'll see. But, from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. By the way, speaking of that, Ring of Honor put up probably one of the greatest Ring of Honor matches ever. Steen Generico Ladder War 4 from Final Battle 2012. And I was there. The missus can verify because she was there too. And I have the DVD to prove it. Do I have? Yes, I do. I have the DVD to prove it. I have it right here, baby. Right here. Steen Generico. And other matches. And also signed by the Briscoe brothers. The great man up there. Jay Briscoe. You, sir. You great man, you. We miss you, but as always, reach for the sky, boy. That's pretty much it. And they're on the DVD too. What did they? They fought. They were on the show. They fought. If I can find them. Oh, maybe they weren't on the. Actually, wait. Oh yeah, for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles, we had Scum of I think it was who are those belts? I think it was Carino and Jimmy Jacobs taking on Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, CNC Factory basically, not CNC Music Factory, but CNC basically. The pastor, by the way, Caprice Coleman. Almost forgot to do that. Taking on the Briscoes, brothers, and guess who won that? You say Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, I might have to beat you. It was around the time I didn't really like the Briscoes that much, you know. But later on, come 2014-15, I was a big, huge Briscoes fan. Going to Field of Honor, meeting Jay and Mark. Took a picture with Jay on the outside of where the Cyclones play in Coney Island. The last actual picture I had with Jay pisses me off, and I have another one. I can't find it. When the night after Supercard of Honor 7, when he beat Steen for the title, I was at the next day. Actually, the next day, I went home. I had to get like 3 hours of sleep. Go back to the Hammerstein for the TV tapings, which started like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is insane. And I was front row for that too. So, but I got there. They did the meet and greet upstairs in the grand ballroom where they don't, later years they did it downstairs in the basement where the bathrooms are and shit. They did that, but yeah, when they went upstairs to the grand ballroom, first person I went to was Jay Briscoe, because I was so mad. You took the belt from Steen, you bastard! So, him and Mark, I talked to him and Mark for like 5-10 minutes, talking about, wrestling and shit like that. And then we took a picture, which I really wish I had, of me holding the new Ring of Honor belt, which Steen had all the way up till, Jay Lethal brought back the old school, which is we have now, what we had, the old school Ring of Honor belt, which is now different than what it looks like now, with the silver. It still has silver in it, but the look is different. So when you see Bandito, that's the actual belt now. It sucks, but, I miss the old school belt like Joe and Nigel and even freaking Danielson had, and Steen partly had. But I'll tell you the truth, those belts are heavy. You think they're not heavy? Mm-hmm. 10 pounds of gold. Those things weighed. I remember when Dalton put the belt on me, I was like, oh shit, my fucking shoulder. I had that picture I have on my Facebook page, me and Dalton Castle with the Ring of Honor title around my shoulder. I was gonna seal it, but I didn't. But anyway, moving along with wrestling. We talk about wrestling later, but Dynamite coming up in a little under 2 hours. So we got that. But today is a very somber day, ladies and gentlemen. December the 3rd, 2025. 77 years ago, God was born. No, not God. I'm talking about the God of heavy metal. You know him. You love him. You can't get enough of him. But 77 years ago, my dad, basically, Ozzy fucking Osbourne was born. And today's his birthday. Somber birthday because he's not with us because he passed away a couple months ago. Kelly put up a whole bunch of stuff on her Instagram. Basically, it was her, Shannon, and Lewis, his firstborn son, not Jack. It was Lewis, Sharon, Kelly, Sid from Slipknot, and her beautiful baby, boy, Sid Jr., they were there. I don't know if Amy was there. I think she was, because they broadcast on the BBC. It was an amazing freaking tribute at the same place where they had the shrine, in Birmingham. Just amazing, amazing tribute to Ozzy. Pretty much by his mural and everything, where the fans laid all their wreaths and pictures and stuff like that. Right there. And they had a happy birthday Ozzy thing. Just amazing, shedding tears coming down my eyes and shit, because, we didn't think this day would even come. Like now, we were thinking maybe a couple years, like 5, maybe 10 more years or so, that Ozzy would pass on. But, he passed away a couple months ago, shockingly, like Hulk Hogan did. I mean, it was like Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy, Hogan, in the span of 3 days. It was insane. But, very tough day. I know people like, it shouldn't be a big thing, deaths should be, celebrated differently, you would light a candle, you say a prayer, But you think about the good days, when Ozzy or your loved ones were around, you share some funny stories, share some pictures, you share some tears, stuff like that. I mean, you mourn for whatever may be, their 5th year anniversary, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years, But, Ozzy is, Ozzy, Ozzy's been, basically my childhood, ever since I was a little bit Hulkster dude. I didn't get into Ozzy until 1988-89 when I saw him live during the before he retired, the first fake retirement tour, the No More Tours Part 1 tour, which later became Part 2, 20, 30 years later almost. But, listen to No More Tears, probably one of the best Ozzy albums next to like the Randy Rhoads era albums. Amazing. And I collected pretty much almost everything from Ozzy, even the bootleg shit. And I had the box sets, I should say. Not rock set, I'm saying box set. But, without Ozzy and Sabbath, there's no heavy metal right there. Ozzy was the forefather, basically, of heavy metal. You think Zeppelin? Nope. Zeppelin was they had elements of the early stages of heavy metal with, but Black Sabbath came around and was like, oh, we're gonna turn that down a little bit, make it like doom metal. And they just came out and just influenced so many bands like Judas Priest, Maiden, Metallica, Exodus, the list goes on even to today. Today, Conquer Divide, In This Moment, Disturbed, Godsmack, even Zakk Wylde and company, Pantera. I mean, so many bands have so many influences from Ozzy. I mean, there would be no heavy metal without Black Sabbath. We'd be just listening to Michael Jackson or, some rappers like Biggie and Tupac. We'd still be listening to rock and roll, like Nickelback and Creed and, bands like that. But without Ozzy, we wouldn't get In This Moment and, screaming metal and even all the subgenres. The millions of subgenres that are out now. But it is what it is. And meeting Ozzy so many times in my life, I'll always cherish the memories of Ozzy. I know this is not the greatest picture in the world, but once again, the Polaroid that I took in 2000 with the Prince of Darkness box set, probably one of the greatest days of my life. Well, not the greatest, but, I still have the shirt, too, somewhere. But we have that, meeting him and shaking his hand, going to Ozfest, because I didn't meet him at the first Ozfest. This is, 2000, 2001. Ozzy, stuff like that. But, meeting Sharon, meeting Kelly and Jack later on the Ozfest tours and stuff like that. Amazing. That's what, that's why I keep saying I'm the adopted Osbourne, because Ozzy's birthday is the same freaking month as mine. And, Chris and Maria from In This Moment. And even, let me kill myself from Motorhead. We play rock and roll. Rock out with your cook out. Alright. He's hanging out with Ozzy, singing Hellraiser. That song. All the good songs that, Ozzy influenced on there. Because there's two versions of actually now three versions of Hellraiser. There's one on Motorhead's album. I forgot the name of it. But, Ozzy has his own version on No More Tears. They redid it for the 20th anniversary of No More Tears, which is amazing. I think he only played it maybe a few times live during the No More Tears tours and stuff like that. I don't think he ever brought it back out. He should, because that's a banger. I mean, he brought out Desire, or Deep Cut, if you will. Because people don't know what Deep Cut means. But I digress. But, here's another one I took at Ozfest, This is an actual picture, so. I know it's a little bit wrinkly because I printed it out, so. But I was backstage for this, so. And there's another one with me, well, not me per se, but it's Ozzy and Slipknot I took. Which I don't have on me right now, but everything's locked in my office and everything. But, just amazing stuff, man. I miss Ozzy, I cried when he died. I even cried when he was in the hospital, when he fell off the ATV, broke, kind of messed up his neck, which, later on became a big problem for him, and Parkinson's disease, which ultimately kind of killed him. Same thing with Michael J. Fox, he's got it too. But he's still kicking ass. But, when he fell off the ATV, they said that he momentarily died. I was like, no! I started crying, like, don't take him yet. No, please, no. But thankfully, he survived. And it took him a while to get back on his feet. Then he came out and kicked some fucking ass! With Black Rain coming out, Scream came out later with Gus G. He did a couple albums with Zach, which were amazing. Kelly started getting into the music scene with Sleeping in the Nothing and her first album, Shut Up. Good stuff. She covered Changes, which I think is probably what, next to the Youngblood version now, is probably one of the best cover versions of a Black Sabbath song ever. Makes you cry, too. Even Youngblood's version makes a little man cry, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's that. But, today we celebrate Ozzy for his birthday, so happy birthday, Dad. Oz. We love you, we miss you, and, rocking out in heaven with, all the rockers, Randy, Ronnie James Dio, Lemmy, Dimebag Darrell, Vinnie Paul, Get Your Pull, and so many great rockers up there in heaven. Eddie Van Halen's up there, Jimi Hendrix, Neil Peart, not Peart, Peart on the drums. So many rockers up there just kicking fucking ass up there, man. Just, I wish Ozzy wasn't there, and Lemmy wasn't there, even Lane Staley, and Chester Bennington, even Scott Weiland, even Kurt Cobain and company, all these rockers that just died, just way too soon. Even Taylor from the Foo Fighters, just great people that should have never passed away, but, the lifestyle, the rock and roll lifestyle, sex, drugs, rock and roll, it catches up to you. And, if you don't do something about it soon, you're gonna kick the bucket, Even Dave from frickin' Drowning Pool, he just couldn't stop drinking and, died of alcohol poisoning. But Michaels was on death's door, thankfully, we had the brain aneurysm, thankfully he survived that, but... Can we get a new album, please? Or get something with Poison? But him and Ricky Rocket are arguing. What else is new with them? The whole band argues like every fucking year. You hear about, Poison's not gonna go on tour because they're arguing. What else is new? Brett's doing his own thing. CC, Bobby Doll, not Barbie Doll, Bobby Doll. That's his actual name. And Ricky Rocket, they want to get back on tour. They want to get in the studio, maybe make a final Poison record instead of getting like box sets and bleh. And Brett's like, oh no, I want to do my own thing. I'm too busy. Then you got Motley Crue going out on tour. They say they retired, right? They never did. And then they come out with a new record with John 5 in it. I think the album's called, I know the single is called Doggy Dog. What are you, Warrant? Oh, God. Don't get me started with that album that should have been called Doggy Dog, which became Cherry Pie. Good album, though, but... The record company told Janie Lane, another great frontman, that died too soon because of drugs and shit. If the record company didn't say, we need a hot pop fucking song. So Janie Lane went home like, alright, here we go, let's write Cherry Pie. And then next thing you know, Cherry Pie is the name of the album. Cherry Pie is the first single off the album. Janie Lane's the Cherry Pie guy. He's banging, that hot chick in the video who later went out with Jack White from Great White. Those video vixens, you gotta love them. Religiously. But that's what it was back in the 80s. I mean, so many fucking video vixens. Even Alicia Silverstone back in the early 90s with Aerosmith, those trio videos. Tawny Katane, who can forget? Tawny Katane doing the splits on a fucking Jaguar. Oy! Damn you, David Coverdale, and he's retired now. But Tawny's sadly not with us anymore. But she's, doing the splits on Porsches in heaven, who knows? But... it's a great time up there, man, but, some of them we wish we had back. Like Ozzy, I would take Ozzy back and just give him Justin Bieber or, some other shithead fucking pop metal person that sucks. Not that many, but, there's certain metal bands I cannot get into. But it is what it is. But we celebrate Ozzy, and, on his 77th birthday, and there's going to be many more heartfelt birthdays to come, but, we just celebrated Kelly's birthday. She's almost 40, about to have baby number 2. She's going to get married next year. That's not, it's going to be, when they actually do get married, it's going to be somber because Ozzy's not there, Should have been me marrying her, but that's another story for another time. Because I did ex Sharon that way back in the day with that picture I took. And she's like, Peter, please marry my daughter! I'm like, she's too young for me, bro. She was 16 at the time. I was like, oh, no, can't do that. But, but it's what it is. I mean, I saw Kelly, like, when she became 18, 19. Then I could have, But, 16? No, not at that time, no. I mean, it would have been, nice, but, kind of been like, I could have had my shot, but, I didn't want to, like, demean her and all that shit, but I have the book. I have her book, too, which I do have one signed, one not signed. I have the one signed, but it's, like, mint condition. I'm not showing that off, but that's too personal to me. But I digress. I have Ozzy's book too, but I don't have it signed. That's one thing I don't have signed from Ozzy, but one thing I have a few others signed, but not with me right now. It's somewhere. I do have something from Ozzy. I don't know where it is, but because I have all my stuff locked in my fucking vault. But I digress. So yeah. So that's all I gotta say for now. Leave me your thoughts and memories of Ozzy. And we celebrate his birthday today. 77 years old. Gone too soon. I wish we had him here today celebrating, kicking ass. Maybe, because he retired way back in July. And then 2 weeks later he's dead. That really, is shocking. I still watch the end of the beginning, the final show from Sabbath and Ozzy, and all the people that, did his songs, like shit. I even have the DVD of, Live and Loud, which is crazy. I have a few DVDs of, his, live stuff. I have, all 3 seasons of the Osbournes, 1, 2, 2.5. Which was kind of 3, but, didn't make it. And then they're supposed to make season 3 and 4 on DVD, but Sharon never did it. I don't know why. Still to this day, I don't know why. It's hard to find anyway. But they do have it on the Osbourne 24/7 channel if you have Dish. If you don't, you fucked. You are seriously fucked. You get to watch all those great episodes all the way up until the end. Great shit. Epic shit. Not even great shit. Epic shit. Even Corey Taylor would tell you it's great. Right? That ever popular joke. What does Corey Taylor think about this? He likes this video, I know that. But yeah, I did meet him too. Because I used to work for Roadrunner when Slipknot was on Roadrunner. They were on there for a while, now they're not. So Roadrunner's still around, by the way. If anybody wants to know, but I worked there for a while. I interned and then I got a job there for many years. Up until, 4 or 5 years ago, they kind of branched off and then, I didn't get laid off or anything. I just, went my own way. So, which I still do now, but I still talk to some people that work in the affiliates of Roadrunner, because I did promotions and shit for certain bands like Soulfly, Earth Crisis, Sepultura, the new Sepultura, not Max Cavalera's Sepultura at the time, because he was in Soulfly when I got there. And then they had a new singer, the African American singer. He's great. That guy is great to me. You could talk to him for hours. And the funny thing is, when I interned there, the last day of my internship, guess who comes in? Sepultura. I mean, and I was there for their meeting too. I sat down in the meeting and, didn't really take notes, but I was just chilling. I wish I took a picture, but I didn't have a camera at the time. My phone wasn't like this phone I have now, but this is like 98, 99, somewhere around that time. But good memories though. I was there when In This Moment signed with Roadrunner momentarily. I think Zakk Wylde and Black Label Society were on. I don't know on now, obviously, but Zakk Wylde and Black Label Society were on Roadrunner for a while. Not a while per se, but Slipknot I think was the longest reigning band that Roadrunner had. I could be wrong on that, but there was a lot of bands on Roadrunner back in the day. Trivium, Machine Head. So many epic bands. Slipknot, Stone Sour at the time. Oh, but still kicks ass. Roadrunner's still around, but not that many good. There's some good bands on Roadrunner Records right now, but what could have been? But I met all of them. I even went to the Roadrunner show, which there was in I think it was in Webster Hall? I think it was in Webster Hall or the PlayStation, what used to be the PlayStation Theater in Times Square. That was an epic concert. epic. And I stood on the side of the stage for the entire show. Because I had to, working there has its privileges. I mean, I had so much fun being a VIP, a very important Peter, and a VIP, too. But, good stuff. I miss those days. But, sometimes when I go see, like, In This Moment, if they're playing at the Hammerstein, Disturbed at the Hammerstein, I try to get VIP status. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but, not because it's, like, a lot of, it's very expensive, but, if you know people that know people, I get my VIP passes, so, I know people that work in Sirius XM Radio, they get me some good free stuff after, every once in a while. So I know a few major people that know In This Moment. So every time In This Moment comes around, I'm usually, they give me the good VIP stuff, so I'm good. I don't have to, like pay like $100 just to get a freaking, meet and greet shit. I didn't even have to do that when I was on Saving In This Moment back in 2014. People think it was Make-A-Wish. Right. And, it could have been any other guy named Peter. No, it was just me. And I have proof of it. I showed proof of that. I'm not going to show it again because you don't need to see it. So, deal with it. 2 million hits, by the way. 2 million. I'm going to keep praising myself for that. So, because I'm better than you, and you know it. More knowledgeable in music, and you know it. So, I don't even need to debate because there's nothing to debate. There's nothing to debate. With your godforsaken lame as fuck excuses and lame as fuck opinions that I care less about. But, it is what it is. Alright, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do other things. I'm gonna get my NXT reviews coming up on my Peter Joseph channel coming up in a little bit. Getting you ready for Dynamite. And maybe, just maybe, later on tonight, your Ring of Honor review for last week. Getting ready for this week, the final show before Final Battle on Friday, which the card just looks like shit. Ugh. Final Battle, the fucking final pay-per-view of the year. They're WrestleMania, and you put this shit out, Tony Khan? Really? And you expect it to be epic? I don't know. There's only a couple matches that might be epic. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But I'll talk about wrestling in a little bit. But right now, thanks for watching. Ozzy, Dad, happy birthday, brother. My good friend, we miss you. Miss you, Dad. I'm gonna cry. I'm getting verklempt. Talk about yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Ozzy's greatest hits. Discuss. Okay. I'm good. Alright. So leave your memories of Ozzy down below, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, rock on and rock hard with your cuckoo. And if you're not down with that, well, Ozzy has 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! Shut on! That's pretty much it. Until next time, peace and rock on!